Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. We've got a lot of severe weather to talk about, multiple tornado warnings right now that we're keeping an eye on across portions here of eastern Iowa. Big tornado day today, so let's kind of jump right into this here and take a look at what we have happening right now on the ground. We do have a tornado warning. We're going to start here kind of from here close to Cedar Rapids and work our way south. We actually have this line of storms that you can see that has been producing multiple tornadoes here all afternoon long. A lot of wind damage reports with that line as well. So we do have this particular tornado warning. This is right now radar indicated rotation. This is near Meckensville, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, radar indicator rotation. This storm is going to be near Mount Vernon and Lisbon here around 4:40 p.m., which is basically right now. So that's going to be moving through these areas here. Let's kind of zoom in on this. Yeah, we can see this right now coming into near Meckensville, just off to the west of Stanwood, near Mount Vernon. Let's look at our velocities on this, kind of see where we're seeing some of that rotation on this particular storm. There we go. So yeah, we can see there was that rotation. It has kind of moved off here fairly quick to the north and has slightly weakened on this particular cell. So keeping an eye. Let's move further south here. And this storm here has definitely had quite a significant tornado history with this. This is right now about to come into the New London, Iowa area, just off to the southeast of Mount Pleasant there. Just went through Salem, and we're seeing some very strong rotation on this particular storm. Right now, low level relative velocity about 54 knots. Also some hail on this as well. So if you are in the New London area, you definitely need to be in your tornado shelter at this time. This is a observed tornado on the ground here in Iowa right now. Again, observed tornado on the ground right now in Iowa. This is a weather spotter confirmed tornado for this area. This again near Mount Pleasant, New London. So if you're in New London, be seeking those tornado precautions right now. Mount Pleasant Municipal Airport, Henry County Fairgrounds, right now rolling in here 4:45. So again, this is going to be eventually, once it gets through Mount Pleasant, going to be heading up here toward Meteorologist, Morning Sun, Mount Union, all of these areas kind of in the path of this storm. And again, this is a confirmed tornado that we're seeing on the ground. Let's take a look at our correlation coefficient on this, see if we're seeing any sort of debris with this particular storm. And yeah, we are seeing that dropout right here. It's horrible. It just went through the Salem area and coming up here toward, it's going to basically go right between Mount Pleasant and New London there on that particular road right there here in Iowa. So we have that storm that is right now on the ground doing some damage. And then we also have this storm here further off to the south. This is near Revere. Again, another tornadic storm. Right now, radar indicated rotation. This here goes till the top of the hour, so till 5 o'clock Central Time. So we have 3 different tornado warnings right now here, all in Iowa at this time. And let's keep an eye on this one here. We're really starting to see that correlation coefficient here on this New London storm. Seeing some of that drop out there. Let's come back here to our velocities, kind of see where the tightest rotation is. Yeah, we can see it. Wow. So it looks like if you're on the west side of the New London area, that is where this storm is going to be crossing that road there near the New London area. And so make sure you're taking your tornado precautions in those areas. Also have a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings with this same line as well that we can see. A lot of Large hail, damaging winds. This is all off to the west of Davenport, Iowa. For this line of storms, you can see all these yellow areas, yellow boxes. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're seeing some 60-mile-per-hour winds. We've seen multiple wind damage reports here that have come through. We've also seen some hail reports as well. So some half-inch hail, three-quarter-inch hail, 1-inch hail. So these storms are producing hail, are producing wind damage. But again, this is the storm right now. Again, now just passing off to the west of the New London, Iowa area. So if you are in and around New London, Mount Pleasant, this storm is now passing your area. If you are up here near Mount Union, Morning Sun, even up here toward Wapilo, this storm is heading your direction. Likely another tornado warning will be issued out ahead of this here shortly. So definitely make sure that you are taking those tornado precautions as you need to. Very impressive storm now coming across here, the New London area. And we can see that velocity. It has definitely intensified. Wow, we can see the dropout right there where that black pixel is. That's basically right where your tornado and your debris is kind of happening right now on the west side of New London, Iowa. And this is really the storm system that we've been tracking all day long here with this enhanced risk. You can see the multiple tornado watches that we have in effect and the enhanced risk that we have for today for this area here in central and eastern Iowa, northern Missouri, western Illinois, even into southwestern Wisconsin, and that slight risk area extending all the way back down here into Arkansas as well. Let's take a look at some of our storm reports for the day. We've seen a lot of storm reports today. So far, we've seen 16 tornado reports just today, 67 wind damage reports, and another 30 hail reports thus far. So we could see just we've seen tornado reports this morning over in Nebraska, now over here into Iowa. So definitely keeping an eye on this storm here as it approaches the west side of New London. And I hope those people are taking some cover. Let's look at this correlation coefficient again. Not as strong on the correlation coefficient as it was earlier. Let's try and flip radars. This is coming here. That's on the DAB. That's not going to be our best radar. It's the closest one. Yeah, starting to see a little bit more of a drop out here just as it's passing off to the west of New London, Iowa. It's moving pretty fast too. It's just now crossed that road. It's lost a little bit of rotation on it, it looks like. Let me go back to our velocities on this. Yeah, it's kind of collapsing in on itself a little bit. But still very strong rotation right now, just off to the west side of New London. So if you're on the north side of New London, definitely make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions there on the north side of New London. So again, we've seen these storms all day long, putting down multiple tornadoes. A lot of storm chasers out there in these areas as well. But this New London storm right now, definitely the best storm of the bunch, so to say, as far as the most likely to be producing a tornado. Let's look back down here at this storm. Still seeing some rotation here just now on the northeast side of Revere. We'll have to see if they issue another tornado warning on this. They have not as of yet. That tornado warning goes till the top of the hour. But if there is some rotation, it is just here on the northwest side of Argyle here in Iowa, just south of Donaldson. But this storm here near New London, new tornado warning now just issued for that New London storm. This is for southeastern Henry County, northern Des Moines County, southeastern Louisa County, all here in southeast Iowa until 5:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This is a confirmed tornado located on the north side over New London or near Mount Pleasant. This is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, this is a Weather Spotters confirmed tornado on the ground right now on the north side of New London, Iowa. Again, new tornado warning just now being issued for this very dangerous storm. We have had history with a tornado on the ground. Weather Spotters confirmed on this. This is now heading up toward the Morning Sun area on the south side of Mount Union, over toward Oakville. If you're in these areas, you need to be taking your tornado precautions, as this storm does have a confirmed tornado on it. This is off to the southwest of Davenport, south of Iowa City and Cedar Rapids here. They're along the interstate. That thing is just beast of a storm right there. That's the storm of the day. Welcome back, everyone, to the live stream. If you're just now joining us, we are tracking a storm with a confirmed tornado on it here near the New London area. I am meteorologist Joseph Pisani. Great to be here with you guys this afternoon. We do have an enhanced risk for severe weather for much of eastern and central Iowa that does continue. Tornado watch out for this area as well. We currently have 3 tornado warnings on the board right now. We have this one here that'll be expiring. There we go. They just issued a new one for this particular cell. So this is still radar indicated rotation on this storm. It is dropping 1 inch hail. This is a new tornado warning for northern Hancock County, southwestern Henderson County, southwestern Des Moines County, Lee County, and central Clark County in Iowa and Missouri. This is capable of producing a tornado located over Argyle, 10 miles west of Nauvoo, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So that's that storm. Then we have our storm here now just off to the north of New London. This one is the one that we've been tracking that does have that confirmed tornado on it. This is a Weather Spotters confirmed tornado. And we can see it right here where these velocities kind of touching now just on the northeast side of New London, heading over here toward the Morning Sun area. So if you are in Morning Sun or on the north side of Meteorologist in Iowa, eastern Iowa, you need to be taking your tornado precautions at this time. This storm will eventually also be heading here toward the Oakville area, crossing into Morning Sun here around 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock central, and then up here near the river here around 6:15, just on the east side of Wapello. And again, this is trending toward the general Davenport direction there. So folks in the Davenport area need to be keeping an eye on this line of storms to the west, as this does have a confirmed tornado on it. So definitely something we're going to have to keep a close eye on as we continue moving through. Wow, we're really seeing that radar drop out now, right now. This has got to be quite a strong tornado. Yeah, this is, let me pause it real quick. So right here where this dropout in the correlation coefficients is, right in this area here is likely where our debris is at. We also have another area kind of right there. So this is a significant tornado that we're seeing here on the radar. As we look at the velocities, that's what I'm saying. It almost looks like it's cycling a little bit. We could have a multi-vortex tornado here as well, because we have 2 defined areas of rotation. We have an area right here, and now we have a new area, a kind of broader area, kind of developing on the western side of this storm. So definitely keeping an eye on this storm right now. And this is kind of heading up this direction right here. So we've got these couple areas of rotation that we're going to have to keep an eye on. This could really be putting down multiple storms. Multiple tornadoes, excuse me. This could be a multi-vortex tornado. Just looking at the signature here. We're really starting to see this develop here on the western side of this. Let me come back to our reflectivity, see what it's looking like. Well, looking at the reflectivity, it definitely looks like if our tornado, it's kind of right here where this drop in dBs, decibels is, and likely a rain-wrapped tornado. Okay, we just got a new scan come in, so now it's kind of moved over here. So, but nonetheless, Meteorologist, just pretty much due to your west. Mount Union, this is just to your southeast. Big hail about to come here into Morning Sun. Again, this particular storm easily has 1 inch hail on it, possibly even a little bit bigger. Very strong rotation that we have seen with this. Again, Weather Spotters confirmed tornado with this. This tornado warning here to the south. Again, this is near Argyle, This is going to be coming up toward Fort Madison and Dallas City. So we've got those two storms. And then we can see this line of storms here arching off to the north as well. We also have to keep an eye up here into southwest Minnesota. We've seen a couple of tornado warned storms up there as well this afternoon. But again, right now, just to the southwest of Davenport, this is the storm that we've been keeping our eye on here, just west of Meteorologist. This is going to be tracking up here toward Oakville, eventually up here toward New Boston as well, Wapello, Morning Sun, all these areas. You guys are under this tornado warning. This continues here till 5:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Again, this is an observed tornado. There are storm chasers that are out here on this storm that have confirmed that they have seen this tornado. So definitely be taking this extremely seriously if you live in these areas or if you have friends that live in these areas. Be sure to share this live stream with them so that way they can be aware of the threat that is headed to their area. And this is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. We have an enhanced risk for today, multiple tornado watches for this area. We've been keeping an eye on this all day long. We're starting to see this activity kind of ramp up here across southeast Iowa, which is what we expected with this particular storm system. We have very favorable dynamics for these strong rotating storms to be taking place across the area. So definitely something we're keeping a close eye on as we go through the evening. A lot of storm chasers out there as well, so you can be sure to check out their live streams as well. We're also keeping an eye on this on Zello. We've got some folks on there, so if you want to hop on there, be sure to check that out. Speaking of tornado warnings, we have a new tornado warning here. Let's check this one out. This is here for in Iowa. This is radar indicated rotation on this. This is just north of Fenton, Iowa. Large hail core on that for sure. Let's take a look at our velocities. Oh yeah, we're starting to see some rotation here develop just on the north side of Fenton. So this tornado warning, this goes here until 5:45 p.m. Central. This is for southeastern Emmett, west central Kossuth County, and northeastern Palo Alto County. They're in northwest Iowa. So keep an eye on that storm if you live in these areas. This is going to be headed up here toward Sway City, probably just off to the east of Armstrong, and eventually up here toward East Chain and Pilot Grove, those areas as well. So another tornado warned storm there in northwestern Iowa. That'll eventually be crossing into Minnesota as well. Let's come back to this storm here just northeast of the New London area that we've been keeping an eye on. Let me flip back over here to Davenport. And again, we're seeing this tornado vortex signature marker right here, which again does not surprise me. This is a confirmed tornado that we've had on the ground. Moving off to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. This is really taking some serious wind damage. Trees uprooted and snapped, roofs blown off. This wind damage report just came in a few minutes ago. So definitely keeping an eye on. Look at the rotation on this particular storm. Really, really, really strengthened up here in the last scan there. This is just south of Morning Sun, kind of north, right between Morning Sun and Meteorologist. This intersection here, if you kind of at that intersection there between Meteorologist and Wapello, east of Morning Sun. This is tracking right in your direction. here, just going to pass west of Oakville. New Boston, probably going to be passing somewhere in there. This is basically tracking, let me see if I can draw this out here. Kind of right in through this area is where this is tracking. And our rotation, center of circulation's right in that area right there. So it is moving off to the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So definitely be taking your tornado precautions at this time. If you live in these areas, again, Meteorologist, Morning Sun, Oakville, Wapello, New Boston, all of these areas, this is a confirmed tornado that we have on the ground right now across these areas. Let's come back to our reflectivity. Yeah, you can see the dropout there on that. Let's look at our correlation coefficient, see if we're seeing any debris with this. Oh, yep, a little bit of a debris belt. You can see that dropout right there briefly. So again, still getting some tree debris. We did have, trees uprooted, so we're definitely seeing some debris with this tornado. You can kind of, let me zoom in here a little bit if I can. I know, it's kind of hard to see. But it's basically this little, you have all this pink and red. So this is the correlation coefficient. So basically what this is looking for is large debris. We kind of have it right there in that little green area because it's showing us that it's not correlating to, rain or hail. It's larger than that. So this kind of lets us know that, hey, this could be, likely debris. And we know that it is because we've had storm chasers that are in the area that have shown us that, hey, this does have a confirmed tornado on this storm right now. So definitely something we will be keeping an eye on with this particular storm. And this is just one of 3 tornado warnings. If we zoom out, kind of get back to the wide picture here. So that's that storm there. Again, this is southwest of Davenport. Here's Chicago over here. There's Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids, you're now in the clear from this line of storms. Davenport, definitely need to be keeping a very close eye with this confirmed tornado now directly pretty much off to your southwest. Muscatine, under a severe thunderstorm warning. All these yellow boxes, severe thunderstorm warnings. This line has had a history of producing straight line winds as well. And then we have this storm as well. So we have 2 tornado warning storms. This one here starting to get its act together a little bit more. I kind of want to look at the velocities on this southern storm. Yeah, starting to get a little bit more well-defined rotation here just off to the east and southeast of Argyle. And then we also have this area here kind of near west of Fort Madison. A little bit of more broad rotation here on this last scan, pretty much right in there between Donaldson and Fort Madison, south of Franklin. So this is kind of running right along just off to the west of the river there. And then we have this area of rotation up here as well. That's our confirmed tornado. Now passing just north of Minneapolis, very close here to the Morning Sun area. So if you're between Morning Sun and Minneapolis, you have a confirmed tornado on the ground that's passing right within your area at this time. So definitely be taking your tornado precautions if you live in this part of Iowa. Wapello, you need to be keeping, especially if you're on the south side of Wapello and living between Wapello and Oakville. This tornado producing storm is headed that direction right now, kind of crossing this intersection right here right now. So a lot of storms to talk about. Let's take a quick look at this particular storm. Let me flip my radar, see what's going on with our guy up here. Yeah, rotation's not looking super impressive. Let me flip to, it's just kind of not a, let's flip to KPMX, see what it's looking like on that one. A little bit, it's just kind of far, getting a little bit of range folding on that. But again, this here, it's got a little bit more disorganized since 5 minutes ago. So that's the good news. It seems like the rotation's kind of falling apart a little bit, getting a little bit disorganized, almost like the line's starting to outrun itself a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. But still, likely, if there's a tornado, it's likely right basically at this intersection. Right in here is where that tornado would be sitting, just off to the east of Morning Sun. See what happens with this here. Yeah, let me put this back in motion. Yeah, it's kind of moving there. Almost a little bit more easterly than northerly. So I think it's going to kind of pass here just on the north side of Oakville. So Wapello, you're probably getting some big hail up there in Wapello. But the tornado threat there in Wapello seems a little bit more diminished. Yeah, Wapello, Morning Sun, you're taking on some big hail right now. Wapello, you'll kind of get that same hail core kind of come right over and just south of you in that area. That's what our vertically integrated liquid product there is showing us. See if we're seeing any dropout on the correlation coefficient. Yeah, it's kind of dropped out a little bit. Could still have a little bit of debris in there. Again, folks, we do know that this storm does have a history of producing tornadoes. This tornado warning continues here till 5:30 p.m. So, East Central Henry County, that part of the warning has now been canceled as the tornado has moved east. This was near Yarmouth, 11 miles south, moving northeast 45. So it almost seems like it's trying to get a little bit of a southern appendage going, but still just east of Morning Sun. If there's a tornado, that's kind of where it's at. This storm here is kind of interesting as well, off to the south. See if it's looking any better on the velocities. Not super great. You can see this one though. Look at that. There. Yeah, it's definitely more broad now. Much more broad rotation. Right here west of Oakville. So again, if you're in the Davenport area or southwest of Davenport, definitely be keeping an eye to your southwest with this storm that has produced tornadoes. We know that. So this is going to be heading up in your general direction over the next hour, really the next couple hours between Meteorologist and Davenport. These areas here really need to be keeping an eye on this particular storm. And then we also have this storm down here to keep an eye on as well. And they've trimmed that warning a little bit more. Yeah, it's now just south of Wapello is where that rotation is showing here. So yeah, it's going to pass kind of just on the east side of Wapello. It looks like eastern Wapello, west of New Boston, pretty much right between Wapello and New Boston. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens here.